Breaking in the nationwide protest, which has started since last week in Nigeria, hit another level today as Kano protesters were seen raising up Russian flag, chanting "Mu Russia, Mu Keso," a message to all. According to the news that's been flying, these protesters in Kano, Nigeria, taking a new dimension with protesters flagging the Russian flag suggests a significant shift in political sentiment by waving the Russian flag. Protesters are symbolically expressing their preference for Russia's African policies over those of the USA and Western countries. This could be interpreted in several ways. Number one is anti-Western sentiment. Protesters may be expressing dissatisfaction with Western powers' involvement in African affairs, perceiving Russia as a more neutral or supportive partner. Number two, it might be pro-Russian stance. That is, the protesters might be signaling support for Russia's growing influence in Africa, potentially seeing Russia as a counterbalance to Western dominance. Economic interest. Russia has been increasing its economic presence in Africa, and protesters might be hoping for improved trade or investment opportunities with Russia. And another factor of the impact of raising Russian flag is political ideology. Some protesters might identify with Russia political ideology or see Russia as a champion of anti-imperialist or anti-colonial causes. And another thing is domestic diplomatic realiment. This gesture could indicate a desire for Nigeria to relecture, that is to revalue its diplomatic relationships, potentially aligning more closely with Russia and other Western powers. It's essential to note that this act might not represent the views of all Nigerians or the government. However, it highlights the complexities of international relations and evolving geopolitical landscape in Africa. Not be smart in my country, people. As you all can see that all this thing has been happening ever since this protest of a thing started in so many states in Nigeria. Today, we also learned that the person that is the teller who is in charge of sewing this Russian flag has been arrested before at the time of this particular news. The tailor that has been sewing the cloth, that is the flag, has been arrested. That is the main person sponsoring this. But come to think of it, remember that in this video that you just watched, many people we are seeing holding this flag. Does it mean it has been long, or it has already been sold for like a week, 2 weeks, or a month now before this particular flag was shared to the protesters? According to the Department of State Services, they say that its operative have arrested some tailors sewing Russian flags for the end bad governments in Nigeria. That is the protesters in Kano State. And also protesters in Kano State, we are seeing looting some businesses in Nigeria. That is especially businesses that are located in Kano State. All kinds of things has been happening in this protesting of a thing. When people are going around expressing their view, expressing their opinion, trying to tell the government how they feel about their leadership or their ruleship. But in other way, if it happened that the government were able to address the issue of what is at hand, what prompted the populace to protest against the government, I think that the protesters will calm down and stop protesting. But in this hand, President Tinubu addresses Nigerians yesterday, and it is obvious that before he released his video of that dress, the speech was already leaked, especially on Twitter, since 2 days ago. And many looking at the video where President Tinubu addresses the populace, it is obvious that that video was not meant for that particular speech. He only did voiceover in that particular video, in the sense that he's just doing like a content creator, whereby you can have your already made video and you decided to come out and, because you see any news, maybe peradventure it is in the night and you feel like you want to blog, okay, you have to do your voiceover, you get it, then you just do voiceover. That is what Tinubu did in his speech, because the speech, what he was saying on the video did not align with how his mouth was making move in that same video. So my country people, what is your opinion concerning this ongoing protest in Nigeria? Remember that all this has been happening, but the eastern part of the country has remained calm because they are no longer interested in one Nigeria. All they want is nothing but division. Now, seeing people raising Russian flag, and seeing how President Tinubu addresses the populace, seeing how some Yorubas are behaving, and seeing how some people, some parts of Nigeria are behaving. What is your conclusion? What do you have in mind at stake? What should be your advice to Nigerian politics or your Nigerian president or President Tinubu? What advice do you have? Remember that Igbo people has been agitating for nothing but for Biafra. They've been asking and be seeking on how to leave Nigeria totally and have their own independence, that is having their own sovereign state, which is their own country known as Biafra. But to my own, is if I would advise, because saying let's go back to reconstruction, going back to this, restructuring this and that, I don't think it will work, because Nigeria is very verbose, Nigeria is too big, and is a country filled with diversity in culture, diversity in so many things, ethnicity, this and that. There is no congruency in Nigeria. Yes, people cannot come out, these three tribes cannot come out to agree in one thing. Rather, they will prefer that Igbo should be serving them. This is the thing that has been happening in Nigeria. Nigeria has been in a state of chaos for some times now, especially when Tinubu emerged as the president of Nigeria. So many things have turned down. The Northerners, we are rejoicing that it is Muslim ticket. That is Muslim ruleship in Nigeria. Okay, now your religion people are now at the top. They are now the leaders in Nigeria. Then why are you people still protesting? You guys see what is happening in Kano? You are see what is happening in Kano, Kaduna State. Things that are happening there is something else. It's not happening in any other place in Nigeria except in the northern part. Look at the way northern people came out massively protesting for bad governance. Not just that alone, they still went ahead further to raise Russian flag. Are you trying to tell me that Putin have not seen this? That the Russian president have not seen this flag that was raised by northern people? No, eventually it has seen it. Anyway, Sha, we are only praying for nothing for peace and for division. That's all I can pray for in Nigeria. I no longer pray for peace of Nigeria. I no longer pray for unity of Nigeria. I can only pray for peace of Nigeria, for division. Yes, Nigeria divide for everybody to go their separate ways for the sake of peace and for the sake of lives. Many things has been happening in Nigeria. People die on daily basis. Hunger keep people on daily basis. People commit suicide in one way or the other as a result of lack of job opportunities, as a result of when you don't have anything to eat, when you don't have anything to, just so many things are happening in Nigeria. If you just wake up today in Nigeria, you just have to give God praise, because it is not easy to sleep and wake up as a Nigerian in this perilous time. Yes, don't misunderstand me. I'm telling you the facts. I'm telling you my own point of view. Because I wonder, how did it get to this point that in the market this time, people now bring one tuber of yam, they now, cut it into pieces, place like 3 or 4, and sell it to people. Who will eat this? Who hasn't? Just, can you tell me? Can these 3 pieces of yam feed how many family? Feed how many children? Imagine how do you expect the poor masses to feed? Even the rich are complaining. Talk more of people, the commoners. How do you expect them to feel? Do you even think of people that cannot even afford 3 square meal per day? Now look at the pint of garri. How much is it in the market? It's high. Look at other things. Even rice is at the price of 8-something thousand. Look at fuel. Imagine exporting country. Imagine Nigeria, an oil producing country, selling a liter of oil at the rate of how much per naira? At the rate of how much? Imagine naira to dollar rate. Imagine all these kind of fluctuating things in Nigeria. Things are not constant. The devaluation in naira is at its peak. So many things. Inflation rising here and there. Too many goods chasing just chasing few money. When there is not much money in circulation, people are complaining. When there are goods, cost of goods and services, things are high. Why can't there be equilibrium to stop all this kind of thing? Because of what? The man that you put as the president of your country is not after you. He's only after his turn. like as he said that it is his turn to be the president of Nigeria. He did not make any promise. He did not ask you that he's going to do this or do that for you. Check all the videos of Tinubu's campaign. There was no time that he promised Nigeria that he's going to elevate you from poverty or he's going to do this, going to do that. The only thing he says is that it is his turn to rule. And he went ahead to say Nigerians should exercise patience with his tenure, with his regime. Please give me time, exercise patience. This is all he was saying. Imagine addressing the populace and all he could say is credit loan. The masses are crying because of hardship, cost of goods and services, and the only thing you come about is only credit loan. Is that the only source of curbing inflation in a country? Is that how to stop inflation, the persistent cost of rising goods and services in an economy? Is it when all Nigerians have died or when Nigeria starts stoning you to death, that is when you will realize on how to curb this inflation in Nigeria? My country people, things are really happening. Consider your own arena. The things that you normally buy at the price of 10 naira before, how much is it at this time? Considering a loaf of bread, how much are you buying a loaf of bread at this time? Even to buy fufu, buy gari, even if you want to prepare soup before, you can easily use 1,000 naira and prepare a quality soup. But this time around, even for you to use 10k and prepare soup is now hard. So who is not complaining? Both the rich and the poor are complaining. So there is nothing like, because you have money, because it does not have money. This particular stuff is really affecting everybody because the rate of tax will still be high. The government will try to see how they can raise money, and even tariffs and other things will still be high. So you cannot expect me, for instance, that I'm a farmer. You can't expect me as a farmer to harvest my crops and go to the market and sell it at a lower rate when after selling my particular product, I cannot use the income that I achieve from from the sales to buy something in the market I can use to feed my family at lower rates. Going to buy it, it means that I'm going to cheat myself in the sense that the cost of things that I want to buy in the markets are high. Are you seeing the problem? Are you seeing what is happening? These are what we call inflation, persistent rise in the cost of goods and services. And there are factors that trigger this. So if your so-called president does not know the factors or how to curb inflation in a country, he should go and consult economists or people that read economics so that they will put him through and advise him on how to curb inflation in an economy. Yes, my country people, this is all I have to say concerning all these Nigerian nationwide protest that has started since last week and still going on even after Mr. Tinubu, that is the president of Nigeria, President Tinubu addresses the public, that addresses the Nigerian that they should mellow down and stop protesting. Imagine the Senate president telling people to go out and protest, that will be at home, be enjoying and be eating when the poor masses are suffering, but you can boast of eating at home and you feel like throwing it on their faces. This is all I have to say, my country people. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn on the notification button so that you get notified of all latest Nigeria updates. Christy TV, Gossip Cover. Remember, there is no fake news in this arena. I love you guys.